Hi, Karl de Leeuw here. Thank you for watching my little short documentary on reincarnation, and thereafter I'll answer 4 questions. Hi, Karl de Leeuw here. Reincarnation. What happens when a baby takes its first breath? Your soul comes into your body from the spirit world. Your soul then resides in your hip area, which is the densest part of your body, and from there it radiates out via the human energy fields and chakras. Gifted people from all societies can see these human energy fields and chakras, but science is only now discovering them. Angel Kryon says that it will not be long before a quantum viewer will be invented to show human energy fields and chakras to the world. On the left illustration you can see all the human energy fields radiating out of the body. Here we only show the 7th chakra coming out of the top of the head. On the illustration on the right you can see all the chakras. They are like vortexes. One of my instructors at the College of Psychic Studies in London, England, is a lady called Amanda Roberts, now living in New Zealand. Amanda can recall her soul being in the spirit world and sitting with a committee of other souls and planning her next incarnation mission. Free will is everything. It's up to each soul to decide how potent their next incarnation will be. The committee of souls might then say that the mission could be too difficult for your soul's previous life experiences, but it's up to each soul to decide. Once your soul enters your body at birth, you forget your incarnation missions, and this is the beauty of the system called reincarnation. It must be noted that during all of my studies at the College of Psychic Studies, I did not encounter anyone not agreeing to reincarnation process being the truth. In the spirit world, therefore, reincarnation is a given. Scientists don't know what 95% of our DNA is for. One reason for DNA that we don't know about is to store past life memories. That is why a mother knows that she has 3 kids, and all 3 of them are different. The one is an old soul, the next not so old, and the last is a very young soul without many life experiences. Why do you think some people can start composing music at a very young age? Magic? No. They were musicians in a previous lifetime. Earth is hell. We come to Earth primarily for life lessons. Make no mistake, heaven could also be hell if you did not learn in this lifetime. Hindu scholars talk about purification. I call it speaking the truth. The truth will set us free. If you don't live a truthful life, you need to come to Earth again for another life lesson to learn how to live a truthful life. So make things easy for yourself and just speak the truth, even if this means you'll go to jail. Rav Berg of Kabbalah.com, to my memory, once said that the most important thing for him is just to reject negative thoughts the devil tries to trick you with. Kabbalists call the devil the opposition. That is actually a better name because you need the devil's side to be able to have life lessons and learn. Without the opposition, it's impossible to learn life lessons. Karma is unfinished business from previous lifetimes. I'll just repeat it again. Karma is unfinished business from previous lifetimes. So you need to learn in this lifetime. Don't waste this lifetime. The good news is, however, that you can drop your karma and steer your own boat. But this is tricky because it's like being the only boat on the ocean without help. But it's possible. Do countries have karma? Yes. That is why owning up to previous lives is so important. Returning to the very first time when you, as a baby, take a breath. At this point, you forget your life missions you set out in the spirit world. You are now on your own, and you need to wake your missions up. It takes time for most, and this is called a midlife crisis. You know you need to wake up and do something, but you don't know what. It is like being in a fishbowl. The spirit world is looking down on you, and all makes sense. But for you, in the fishbowl, you cannot see how easy everything is. But it's up to you to wake up your mission. And that is by design, because how can you have life lessons if you already knew how to do it? You have to stumble and fall, like a baby learning to walk. Over many incarnations, you become an old soul and automatically know what is right and wrong. There is no need for a spiritual middleman or woman. Why? Because we need to learn how to spiritually connect with creation ourselves. Therefore, to have a guru in Hinduism, a monk in Buddhism, a rabbi in Judaism, a minister or priest in Christianity, or an imam in Islam is a blockage between you and the Creator. If we speak directly to the Creator, we will have a much smoother incarnation, and knowing what is right and wrong will become automatic. How do you grow or make your lifetime to be of some use to the spirit world? Simple, you give. It's all about giving, what Kabbalah.com calls sharing. So you need to do the opposite of what a beggar does. When you give money or food to a beggar, they don't grow, you do. It is much better for a beggar to wash dishes in a homeless charity to allow him or her to grow. Why is this story important? Because most people on earth are beggars. Okay, so we have had a productive giving or not giving life, and it's now time for us to pass over to the spirit world. The spirit world tells us that passing over is not as hard as we think. Speak to anyone that has had a near-death experience, and most talk about total love. So when people are in accidents and nearly die, they pass over temporarily to the spirit world, and it's total love. There are millions of cases of this. When it's time to go, you pass over via the pineal gland to the spirit world. Aha, I forgot to say that when we first incarnate, you also enter via the pineal gland. The pineal gland is cone-shaped and in the center of your brain and a highly spiritual part of your body. So looking at the illustration, you pass via the pineal gland in the center through the 7th chakra at the top of the head, the vortex in the illustration. That is why some Hindus have that red dot on their foreheads. The third eye is a chakra in its own right and cannot be seen. When you leave your body via the pineal gland, you then first have a 3-day remembrance in the Akash. And your Kryon set out how the Akash works, but it's too complex to discuss here, other than to say that around Earth and in the Earth's crust, the memory of your life and any previous lives on Earth are stored. There are 3 places. But now for the exciting part. and the fourth place where memory is stored. This sounds too good to be true. It is in dolphins and whales. Yes, dolphins and whales hold memory and are very important in our evolutionary process. We always knew that dolphins and whales are special, and this is the reason. More importantly, dolphins and whales did not evolve in our solar system. They were brought here by the Pleiadians. Please see my documentary, Creator versus God, for more information on the Pleiadians. So when mediums speak to your loved ones that have passed over, all they are doing is speaking to a hologram of your loved one's memory in the Akash, in and around the Earth's crust. We call these memories ghosts. Yes, ghosts are stored memories that for some reason got stuck. After the 3-day remembrance in the Akash, your spirit is now ready to move to heaven or the spirit world. They are both the same. Your soul is now in the spirit world and starts to plan the next incarnation. What is it like in the spirit world? Total bliss. Just love. Most souls don't want to know about incarnating again on earth, especially those souls that did not learn their life lesson or did not wake up their missions on earth. Why do we experience synchronicity, the term coined by Karl de Leeuw? This is if you ask via affirmations for the spirit world to help you, that the spirit world will send you things via people speaking to you and things just happening around you. The answer is simple, because if you ask, you will receive. There is no time in the spirit world and everything is in the now. Time was only created for our earth's phase because without time you cannot have life lessons. Think about this. %30% and 35% versus 100% DNA activation. We think like a fish in a bowl that cannot see the spirit world and how amazingly beautiful creation is. Do you know that we evolve on earth according to the template set by the Creator? Why can say a horse's foal get up and go after birth and just naturally know what to do? This is because the Creator set the foal's DNA at 100% activation. Our DNA at this stage of our evolution and how far we have grown just cannot have 100% DNA activation because we will destroy the world. We are simply not far enough evolved and do not have enough old souls on earth. Our DNA is set to 30% DNA activation. Think of it a bit like the prophets of the 5 main religions. They all had very old souls and were far more advanced than the rest. The good news is that the Creator very recently started increasing the DNA activation for those that incarnate to 35% activation. You know, because if you look at a baby's eyes, you understand they are more spiritual than you. We only need 0.5% of humanity to create change to make Earth an ascended planet. Is only half of 8 billion people, that equals 40 million people. This is nothing. Remember, the spirit world is in the now and there is no time like on earth. And we are all connected via the strings in string theory, also called the Creator particle found at CERN. Please see my documentary Creator versus God, where I provide more information on strings and how the whole universe is connected via minute strings, which is why if a group of people or a person that is highly spiritual prays to the Creator, meaning all the strings put together, then you can create change. This is called the butterfly effect, and we don't need many people to bring change. As mentioned, we are all just made up of vibrating strings that are the smallest part of an atom. That is how we can communicate with the Creator when we pray, or when the Creator's light speaks to us when we meditate. That is also why group intentions are so important and can produce change. But don't think you cannot generate change, because you can if you are serious about it. Believe in the butterfly effect. Let's look at the 5 main religions linked to reincarnation. Hinduism is all about reincarnation. Buddhism, again, all about reincarnation. In Judaism, reincarnation was taken out of the Old Testament by rogue scholars, and the Zohar, the source document of Kabbalah.com, is all about reincarnation. In Christianity, again, the same happened as in Judaism, but fortunately we have the Talmud of Jmmanuel. This is why it is so important that Billy Meyer release the document and get it carbon dated, because the Talmud of Jmmanuel is the Q document that people talk about. It is all about reincarnation. In Islam, Muslims have just not looked for reincarnation in the Quran. It is there. And finally, one of the big puzzles on gay people. Yes, you have guessed right. It is because in the last, say, 3 or so incarnations, they were, say, female, and now incarnated as a man. They have just not shaken off their previous lifetime, male or female energy. Why should we believe in reincarnation? Because it explains all. If we don't understand reincarnation, we cannot understand what we are for, what our purpose is, that we need life lessons. And once the 5 main religions that make up 80% of humanity understand that the scriptures were changed, so once the truth comes out, that it's all about reincarnation, that will pull the 5 main religions together so everyone can sing off the same, can one say, hymn sheet, and it will be the start of world peace. So it's not only understanding what we are for, but will bring about world peace. Explaining mistakes made in reincarnation is a bit like the saying that life is a journey and not a trip. A journey is unpredictable. So a trip, you're going from A to B, and a journey is completely unpredictable. We cannot come to Earth and know exactly what we're going to do, because it will be predictable. You'll go from A to B. You have to wake up your missions that you've set up in the spirit world, and then once you wake it up yourself, then can you correct it. And you need to make mistakes, and that's why time was created by the Creator in our world, so that there's time to make mistakes and to correct things. So the reincarnation system it's a bit like a baby first having to crawl and fall and then be able to stand and walk. You have to make mistakes and correct it, and through time after time, then becoming an older soul. It's a beautiful system, and I hope that explains your question. We are in the phase at present where we're expanding, where the universe is expanding. In my book, The Universe Code, I give the details from the Pleiadians exactly how many million years we're into that phase. But you get 7 great times. So we're in one great time, and we first expand, and then we contract. And then you have the next big bang. And then you have fluffy spiritual matter, and that then evolves. So you have to have young souls and a little bit older souls in the expansion phase, and that's where we are currently. It's part of the, can one say, grand design. Yes, so what Angel Kryon says is that 95% of our DNA is to store our past life recollections, but it's also got purposes. In my next talk on human energy fields and chakras, it's there's another purpose for 95% of our DNA as well. And so science needs to still prove all of this. So we need a his or her Einstein to prove it, and according to the spirit world, it's 100% provable. So we are in an exciting time, and hopefully you, a young scientist, listening to this and will prove it. I hope you enjoyed my documentary on reincarnation, and thanks for watching.